teams have been vying for Matab literally since the beginning of the MVPL summer season.
Yes, indeed, but we're kicking it off with BBE, the team currently in the lead off the back of the previous game. Roy He getting knocked down with that grapple bump, trying to find an opening. The Viper trying to chase down Wolves ZK on this Wu Chen, who's trying to stay alive in the air. The F has been used, caught on the focus. Roy He gets knocked back down, going over to his teammates, who's Ibid, who's actually taking quite a bit of damage, has managed to find a little bit of shield to keep him alive, but it's still very, very low. Both of these teams are neck and neck. Roy He on the drop down getting clipped. The parry comes through. NHQ is going to make it out without getting punished. But is it going to be worthwhile for Roy He to fully run away? Coming back in, ZK is taking a lot of damage. Oh my goodness, Moxie is going crazy right now.
Tesla does manage to hit 60% rage to come in with that V1 and catch on to BBE's Ivan. Wolves like HQ saw that he went low. Fat Milk tried to get into position looking for the coverage on his enchanted player, but will not be able to peel. And Wolves, off of the back of that fast catch, Tesla V1, find the win. Something to note as well, JL triumphed against GG, who revisit the Soul Altar now as we get EWG coming through with a huge Dragon Slayers into Nezas, locking down the players of TWSSXI, trying to come on through with the fan RMB charge. Is going to be interrupted by the F utility coming on out. Gets a little bit of healing into that full follow-up from the Tesla ultimate as Liu Wei tried to come on through and claim any sense of spacing that he wanted to find. But now the Dragon Slayers, the Nessus, is turned against the EWG's side instead. 5-2-1's third party comes on through, and both of these two teams absolutely fall apart beneath their reach.
They do indeed. Pampy diving in, denying the heal in the bubble, and then turning his attention over to the other player, doing a multitasking right here. What a parry though from Pampy, able to cut Cookie down. He was actually doing quite well in the 1 versus 3 for a second there, but unfortunately it's not to be. He releases the stone form.
YZG.
Just barely. He does take one down, but as you said, YZG coming into the mix, coming in from left field, might spell disaster for 5-2-1.
They just solved Salvation Podium. They've got their hands on that Moonbane as well. They're yet to use it because they've seen how weak this team is when they come through for that third party. Pampy with the Poison Splash is going to go down, and now it's just a 1 versus 3 on the side of Yin. YZG, they had the Moonbane, they could have used it, but they knew if they did burn that one, they opened themselves up to being third, fourth, fifth partied by all of these other teams around them, especially since OUG are known to drop towards Salvation Podium.
Indeed, and it looks as though they were, they perhaps wouldn't have even needed it. I think maybe, I don't know, it wasn't worth it. I don't think the investment, they could have definitely used it, but as you said, the dinner bell. We talk about it all the time now, not only the Forbidden Seal, but the Moonbane. These players that could have been around there could have turned up and ruined their fun. Thankfully for them, they didn't need to use it. OUG now looks as though they've rotated up towards Plume Castle, and perhaps they were denied the entry to Salvation Podium by that team, by YZG. And it meant that they're in a really bad spot and they've had their entire game plan disrupted.
Yeah, that is the problem for OG. Like we said, it's incredibly telegraphed when they go for these kinds of plays, and YZG have always been the contesters. Like, it was YZG and Wolves when it was OUG always wanting on MVP eligibility on Hollow after drop towards Salvation Podium, and those were the two teams that always held them to account if they wanted to be able to solve that puzzle. Because for the Xiphon composition, we've talked about it, right? Budget composition, one legendary weapon is such a huge spike of power for that Xi composition moving into the first realm of Yang. So having that in your hands, as long as it doesn't get parried, or as our meme earlier showed, taken out of your hands because of a lovely Takeda coming on through, it is absolutely indispensable. So JL are on absolute fire right now. Not only are they on 4 kills, they've also been able to stunt any movement coming through from GG. In fact, GG, I think, are still down one of their players. That is a second time now that GG have lost a fight because they've burned their Rebirth Charms already.
Indeed they have. Not so good of a spot for them. They look to contest JL. JL very well versed, take them down. I imagine EWG though looking to try and take down TWSS, or perhaps vice versa, as I think it was TWSS who were the aggressors in the situation. The Valda making it out alive. Dofu with that spear. Oh my goodness, the Wu Chen ultimate couldn't have come in at a better point. They all get speared and CC'd and immediately teleport away, denying the eliminations from coming through. However, TWSS now only have that one ultimate. EWG do have this Tessa ult charge ready to go, but is it gonna be... No, it's not gonna be enough, unfortunately, as they are gonna get chased down. The F2 comes through, the drive by Xi is gonna go down, and I believe that the remaining member of EWG may follow suit.
Yeah, Bauda have been able to kite away from YZG, and it looks actually like they were able to parry! Yeah. Oh, we've spoken into existence, YZG, I apologize. That's so unfortunate, because Bauda, like, the second you got that legendary weapon, he went for that V2. When we looked at the Zion ultimate, it was legendary scaling. So YZG, not only did they lose the legendary weapon, they invested their Moonbane. Yep. So Bauda were able to fully kite out. They're also leaving the Soul Blooms, it looked like, which is a risky move with Wolves in the vicinity. They might actually backtrack over to those bodies and pick them up. But with the Realm of Yang's about to be spawning on through, if Bauda can leave the bodies, and with that 2-minute timer, it is pretty close. They might be able to, if they lose fast enough, return to the bodies if they do get hit by Yang depletion and still be able to pick them up.
Indeed. We'll have to see, though. BBE having a bit of a slow start, unfortunately, due to him being cut down earlier on using those rebirths. But Bauda, they're large and in charge right now. They're looking pretty happy with themselves, having picked up that golden weapon, as you said. And it must be really, really devastating to the mental of YZG to have that happen. You know, losing, but when you have Moonbane and gold weapon on Xiphon is rough for your mental. It is going to be a struggle to come back, I believe. Or perhaps not. They are experienced players. For those of you who don't know who YZG is, it is the old KLA rebranded. If you didn't manage to catch group stage and pre-finals, that is who they are. JL here up against GG. We get to see the fight off spawn when GG look to contest JL.
Yeah, TXJ comes on through with the fist blades, that Viper F as well, managing to find the connection that it was looking for. GG trying to set up these isolations, but TXJ and VVV baiting, forcing that 2 versus 1 so they can take down CJS and keep both 330 and LXM in very low health at the same time. And remember, GG came to JL's home turf. They chose to move away from Waterfall and directly contest JL in the hopes of stopping any early momentum. But with GG on Sand Siphon and JL on a composition that has all of this power with the Kurumi, Viper, and Zai, not only did they have early levels of aggression, they had the means of the F2 to come on through and displace, or even allow VVV to survive. TXJ could look for the full lockdowns, and in the meantime, Wanfeng would just keep everyone topped up and alive with the Kurumi F3.
What is this comp, though? How are we missing this, Moxie? I think I missed this on the way in. You must have caught it yourself, because you didn't seem all that surprised. No,
you know who wasn't caught, or rather who was caught? Bauda's you. Two players from Bauda get into the realm of Yang, and JL go 3 versus 2.
That's so rough for Bauda. They were doing so well off the start. The Infinite coming through, though. Is it going to happen? No. VVV fumbling the juggle, but he's not going to fumble this one. Finds the uppercut, re-grab. Oh my goodness, Yeran is going to disrupt with that F2 coming through. The uppercut with the pulse, the focus line. Follow-up, very nice indeed, but Yeran, there's not too much you can do against some of this gold focus. They're fending it off. They're fighting tooth and nail, but unfortunately it's not to be. Bauda are going to fall in the 2 versus 3. Wanfeng and TXJ took down the other member. That is truly heartbreaking for them there.
Yeah, and they're just going to play with that food to kite out that timer as long as possible. Alliance still going strong, fully committed to winning this fight. Kurumi Armor Circle from Revenge comes into play. NY7 out of that Cicada V3, having to rely on the fan setup instead, playing off of both himself and Yuma with the timings. One goes for the R&B, the other looks for the uppercut, and Alliance's communication line is absolutely perfect, and they're gonna be able to set up for the win.
Beautifully done by Alliance, taking down OUG there. JL obviously taking the victory over Bauda, who unfortunately went in with less players, or less than 3 players. It looks as though YZG been playing around this Spirit well and have now captured it for themselves, but oh no, ZK indeed, Moxie. He does fall, being left behind by his teammates. They're not able to save him, and now YZG turning their attention onto TWSS, who are not in the best position right now. Split up and torn away from their friends, from their teammates. It could spell disaster for them, as Valda has already been taken down in this composition.
Yeah, Snack has been removed from play as well. QGG is just about tying up some of these loose ends. YZG with Mystic Might off of the back of that Spirit Well. Both JL Alliance and DRG, all successful victors inside their realm of Yang, will have the gift of Vermilion Bird's Might for the next 200 seconds or so, with those increased revives, with all of their loot still available to them. Alliance gonna be trying to figure out a way of potentially playing around Ballista if one of these players can get on top of it in time. Everyone looking to kite over to the low ground before that one can come on through. Is DRG looking to actually set Kakaishi on the Syra up to catch them and stop any potential disengagement from the other side of that cave. The Tumult ultimate from WX98 locks them into the follow-through from Kakaishi, and this is absolute nightmare scenario for Alliance. The weather effects on Holorup have turned entirely against them in DRG's hands.
Oh my goodness, what has gone on? No one really took all that much damage either. Everyone just standing there, tanking through it all. We have the healing coming out from the Syra and from the Karumi on both teams. Revenge now getting caught up by the Wisp, but armoring through it with that blue focus for Revenge. Able to then parry this focus attack coming in from the back from Kakaishi, but Kakaishi turning around and able to still take down Yuma. Is going back and forth. Revenge, 1 HP situation, and I believe DRG are going to be coming out on top here as they come out 2-0 for the enemy team. Beautifully done. JL now still with Vermilion Bird's Might are going to be taking this engagement within the Forbidden Idol dome with no ultimates to play with.
Oh, and Bowder have one less team to play with as well. They've just got their Matari and their Zai trying to live this engagement. There's JL up against EWG. Parry after parry comes on through. VVV with the overhold into that RMB from the Halberds. Gets knocked away by the Tessa F1. Keeps committing those early hits of the RMB. JL still have a million birds might. They've got plenty of time. They will go down and burn it. As now we get to see EWG looking for that third party opportunity. Cookie was keeping himself standing all the while communicating to Xi the state of these teams with that Viper V1 coming on through on the outsides of the Forbidden Seal. But EWG might have bitten off more than they could chew. And BBE are going to be able to pick up the full elimination onto one of their players. Witch and Teleport now comes into play. Can they track down where EWG ran off to? The Tessa enchantment was attached, but it looks like EWG actually teleported further into the zone so that BBE had no choice but to reposition and run from the fight.
Indeed, able to put max distance there back over the top of the wall, making it very hard for them to be found and salvage the situation for themselves. But here, speaking of salvaging, OUG trying to salvage their game. Jin Yu being knocked in the zone, knocked around, losing that armor, forced to use this ultimate, now trying to find an opening onto YZG. But oh my goodness, I don't think it's going to be enough damage, Moxie. They're bleeding hard. The storm, the burn damage coming through as well. CXZ chunking down Jin Yu. He's 1 HP in a dream. There it is, the final chop, the lumberjack that was that pole sword from 17S. Then CXZ taking him down. YZG going up to 10 eliminations.
Yeah, very good game coming on out from YZG. They might be able to pick up an 11th if they can spot out a low health EWG. Getting out of that storm damage, and BBE are hot on their heels as well. This is going to become an absolute fight over who can claim these last hits onto these low health members of EWG. BBE will be able to pick up one of how fast those halberds can find the connection as well as the reach when you're trying to disengage them. Will BBE prioritize trying to hunt down these other players, or are they going to turn their attention to look at the realm of Yang instead? YZG potentially also going to be caught in that midsection between all of these teams. And EWG can actually utilize the amount of players around them to play off of that third party potential and back away without any aggression instigated.
CG, are we going to see the victory come out for them, considering their early game performance not going all that well, now being jumped upon by the Tumulk Ultimates, both now being sent out. CJS with that half charge is going to be able to mitigate the damage, mitigate that combo, trying to dive in, trying to find the parries, managed to find one. The Furin Blast coming through, denying the follow-up. CJS dodging around, trying to find a way in, but not able to do so. Has 2 pushes left, uses 1. Now oh, wait a minute, LXM, 1 HP. The dagger doesn't get that full follow-up there. Now CJS forced to use that final Auric Sword, not Auric Sword, the Furin Blast to deny the Dreadful Whale, trying to protect his teammates. 3-3-0 and LXM, 1 HP in a dream. He's the last man standing. Is he going to be able to come out on top? No, sir. The slap comes out, the focus slide, getting kicked in the shin. CJS is going to be going down momentarily.
Yeah, in the meantime, DRG and JL still holding firm. Kakaishi with the Syra V1 playing into that Skater Ultimate. Rampage showcased on the Hong Sword with the RMV looking to find all of this damage onto that Yodo, or rather that Viper on the side of JL's TXJ. VVV is going to go down, and it looks like JL will stumble, but returning back to that fight of GG versus Alliance, the hero of the hour was Yuma. Every single time that Takeda tried to, on the outside, throw out the R&B with the fist blades, that Karumi was there intercepting every single focuser.
Beautifully done. But oh my goodness, does JL falling with this composition against this other composition that is also rather interesting. We've got the Sand Siphon not replacing the Tumulk, but replacing the Karumi and zipping with the Syra. Now, we've seen so many different variations of Syra compositions at this point, but I don't know. I want to know if they lost here largely because of the character matchup, that it was just it wasn't a beneficial matchup in the Realm of Yang, or if they fumbled, that something went wrong. You know, the protocol wasn't fully fleshed out. They didn't know exactly what to do in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you one thing that went right. Kakaishi got a legendary katana from that win inside the Realm of Yang, and he has Aurora Burst. So that immediately went to a visit to the shop, and Craft Hammer was purchased, 500 coins expended, and we went into a Hang Sword. So Aurora Burst with that full stance effect and the AoE radius that it covers is now going to be legendary scale. That is terrifying.
That's pretty spooky indeed, but you know what else is spooky? Draco Storm on the side of both DRG and Alliance. Wolves with the White Tiger's prowess could potentially match them, however it's still just not a beneficial fight to take at any point really. Draco Storm being such a powerful tool, such a powerful utility for the team, and they may actually run into 5T1 there, who I think are hiding away in a bush and trying to stay out of sight, out of mind, when they know that these teams with Draco Storm are roaming the map and looking for vulnerable, non-buff teams to take down.
Yeah, Wolves as well going to be covering that back. So they've got that White Tiger's prowess off of a Spirit Well contest. They know, however, that these teams who've won second Realm of Yang are going to be opting for Draco Storm, and they're going to be making sure that they always have that Ballista Tower at their back. So if on the horizon the call comes through that they're spotting a team that's looking strong and looking like they have that Draco Storm AoE effect to their characters, they're immediately going to have one of their players hop up onto that Ballista and use it as a deterrent. As unfortunately for JL, there is no way that they can deter from this next fight. They have 3 minutes, and it's going to be counting down, down, down until they get knocked fully out of this lobby. GG going to be in the exact same situation. It would be insane if JL and GG end up meeting each other and having to fight, and they are headed on similar paths.
Will we see them clash?
Yes, we will.
It's gonna happen, I think. Yeah, you're absolutely right. TXJ getting very close to GG CJS. He spotted him out, I believe. Did he see him? Surely, right?
Yeah, the problem is,
there it is.
for GG, if they see the Viper, they're going to think it's a Tester and a Wu Chan backing up.
True.
So TXJ taking the lead in that position 1 is actually a bait to make them think different heroes are going to be behind them.
The surprise factor that we talked about earlier as well. You know, this if you see this combo in a tournament, it's pretty. Wait, what? Wait. Hello?
2 ships in the night. JL and GG pass each other.
Look at BBE as well.
Yeah, invisibility bush. JL haven't checked. Oh, well, they know now. Cat's out of the bag. Tessa ultimate out of the invisibility bush. TXJ will be able to avoid it. Gorgeous reaction times, but JL now have a composition that they can feed towards if they want to cleanse this Yank depletion, and with the drop down, RMB, they're absolutely making a play to do just that.
They are indeed. The Viper ult coming out from Roy Hee to try and just slow them down and prevent the onslaught that is going to be JL. It looks as though BBE scrapping it out against GG as well. They may have had to use their other Tessa ultimate to try and deal with the team that they teleported over to. Ivan goes down. Oh my goodness, BBE. Also, something to note, they were first place at the beginning of this game, but have since gone down to the second place. And off the back of this situation, I imagine they likely will be going out of the lobby, but we don't know just yet, as JL still fighting it out. GG in the mix. LXM getting stunned by the Viper ultimate, does get eliminated as well. JL getting the ability to fully salvage their game. They still need one Yang depletion cleanse, however.
3-3-0 with the Kurumi armor circle, unfortunately not going to be able to use that recast. The Tessa enchantment comes through. Now the recast comes into play. He's trying to stick on the body of CJS. The Tether is actually attached. He tried to prioritize the revive on his player, and he goes down to the heel cut off of Pampy from 5-1 with the Viper F3.
JL, it's insane. Able to come back from the brink. GG, on the other hand, just not able to do so. And perhaps the scoreline for the day is telling of that, like, it just, you know, JL able to do it, able to clutch it up, and GG just not able to. The scoreline represents that because of the big difference that we see on that scoreboard. 14 points difference between the two teams. YZG, though, who've not had the best day so far, they're certainly starting to speed up a bit now, Moxie. We've got 10, 11 kills on the board, and they're not slowing down just yet.
Yeah, and that was DRG that they were just taking down for that Spirit Well. Remember, DRG had a Aurora Burst in the back pocket, and we actually did get to see a flash of it, as we might only get to see a flash of JL, because TXJ is about to go down, sends out the 1-2-3, just getting the hyper armor to survive some of these range projectile shots from that repeater crossbow, but he's been able to find a little bit of a heal, turns back onto the fight on 5-2-1, but gets parried! Will be able to jump into his Kurumi's armor circle, but the Viper now comes on through with their ultimate. TXJ trying to break away before the V1 can connect, will not be able to do so, and 5-2-1 converge on the stunned out JL, and the god of Naraka is made mortal, as you can see JL's Wonfong trying to win hide and seek, gets spotted out with the Tessa ultimate check inside the invis bush.
That's crazy. He must have seen him go in there and just bluff that he hadn't, and just out of nowhere pulls out the Tessa ultimate. But I don't think he even got it. He didn't even hit it.
No.
He missed. He just knew he was in there. But no matter, they still find the elimination. 5-1, cutting down JL. As you said, the god made to bleed, the Titan has been felled. And 5-1 looking very happy with themselves, picking up yet another few eliminations, leveling up yet again, going up to, what is that, 11 in total.
Yeah, now going to a Riptide dealer. What are we going to be rolling for? As Pampy is definitely trying to pick up a couple of things. Tuna has been acquired for this team. Alliance, we can see them taking a scrap on the other side of that Moonbane up against EWG. I believe they're down one of their players currently, and Revenge is down a lot of HP because of that Moonbane hit. There it is, confirmation. Yuma has gone down. Firefly Cage is also still going to be in play with a little bit of Rage Generation left to it, and this is why Alliance is risking it. Oh! They're prioritizing getting that Takeda V3 back online, but it puts them on the other side of the Moonbane, and Moonbane has beef with Alliance, it seems, because that was directly on them yet again. NY7 and Revenge reduced to an absolute sliver of health as NY7 dodges out of one Moonbane into the next.
That's so crazy. What on earth? The snake is not happy. Mr. Moonbane's having a grumpy day. He has decided, Alliance, you are going down. NY7 eats the brunt of all of that damage, gets eliminated. However, we do have Karumi on the team who's still alive. We may be able to find the tether, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make his way in, given the number of players, the number of teams circling around this location.
YCG now showcasing the Aurora Burst they absorbed from DRG, trying to find the Spirit Well, also equipped with that Merciless Havoc. But they can see that a lot of these teams are waiting on the sidelines, trying to come on through with that just absolute grief of a Tesla ultimate on the outside. And QGG might have the Matari ultimate to hide from a Viper, but he's not going to be able to stop that enchantment window. And now they have to reposition, and another team gets to position themselves on top of that Spirit Well, but they're not getting it for free.
No, sir. No, they are not. Wolves now diving in. They do have the Viper ultimate ready to go. XCM grappling around, trying to stay airborne, not looking to be on the ground, as that is where you could very easily get taken down from all of these focus attacks, all of these range projectiles just flying in your direction. XCM now popping that Viper ultimate, does not get charmed like her teammates, but they are quickly able to cleanse it, and now it is going to pop. They are going to secure the buff. The Mystic Might popping out yet again for this endgame Spirit Well, and now Wolves are going to be able to dictate the pace and know exactly where all of these players, all of these solos, and these teams missing their teammates are going to be lurking around.
Lovely interception. Tessa ultimate in to follow up. Grapple dagger horizontal to keep this player from YZG 17S gate capped right to the side of that storm, right away from his two teammates that could potentially have come through and peeled. On the other side of the map, we've got every other team trying to keep themselves out of Wolves' attention. The Tumult ultimate coming on down from the Sand Siphon compositions, just trying to lock up some spacing. BBE going to be teleporting themselves onto the treetop, setting up for a drop-down Viper V1, but they get spotted out and intercepted by YZG with the Matari F2 blink mid-air connecting. Wolves also running right down that central belt with the Merciless Havoc, splitting these two teams onto either side of the map, playing right in the middle, which is risky if all of these teams turn onto them, and that has just occurred.
It has indeed. XCM does have that ultimate coming up very, very soon. The Merciless Havoc coming in clutch there, absolutely able to cut through all of these projectiles, make it very difficult for anyone to come in and capitalize off of this. CC has been applied to Wolves. NHQ doing God's work, able to section off this position for his teammates, and finding EWG's Cookie just falling there at the edge of the zone. The Wu-Chen not able to survive, unfortunately. And now CD Wolves, even though they get Tessa ulted again, are still going to go untouched.
Yeah, Aurora Burst in play, Merciless Havoc to Wu-Chen teleport from Chengdu's Wolves. Can they escape the clutches of BBE's Roy He's Viper V1 though? XCM gets staggered, leading into that Viper every blast, and XCM goes down. Wolves yet again, they might have kept the Spirit Well, but they are not the Grandmasters of this lobby any longer. Roy He gets intercepted. So many players trying to make any form of play that they can to win that heal off, win that damage and kill multiplier, as 521's Akame sits in the fist blitz animation, finds the parry onto BBE's Ivan, doesn't get the follow-up off of the investment of that F1. He's trying to find the revive onto Pampy, and he's getting punished for it. The Tesser ultimate will commit onto him. Akame goes into the sky so that he gets himself onto that tree side when the 3-second enchantment walks him forward, and he goes unpunished.
Bowder, you diving around in the sky, a lonely Zai, I believe, with blue armor, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. 521 Akame dodging around with the fist blades, looking to find some kind of value. Oh no, absolutely obliterated. The jabbing Soul Jade just squishing his health bar, hitting him right in the teeth, melting his chances there of staying alive any longer. BBE Ivan still going, still cooking, but CD Wolves coming back. They lost a member, but they're still going strong. 10 eliminations so far. Will they be able to get more? Will they be able to secure it? The focus line coming in, disrupting everything. The Zai dropping down out of nowhere. NHQ standing in the center. The Tessa ultimate goes out. They're still alive. They're still kicking. Wolves able to clutch up in game number 3.
Woo boy! Wolves walking away with the MVP potentially. No! The camera cuts away!
What on
Wolves
earth?
denied!
Insane.
They're in the doghouse as YZG walk away with the MVP instead. It really did look like Wolves.
It looked like
might
it was.
have had it. The dreadful whale jabbing combination. Absolutely brutal, but no, it is YZG that are able to close it out and walk away with the overall bag.
That's insane. Wolves was looking so good there. They brought it back from the brink, but no, unfortunately they were not able to get just that little bit